The temperature's dropped a little bit, so the Jedi hoodie's back. But you know what else is back? Crypto's back. Bitcoin's back. Late yesterday night, from my perspective, Bitcoin was topping the trending box. Now we have Solana in there. We have some crazy altcoins jumping in and out, doing 90%, 100%. Ethereum at 7%, which is awesome. Fear and greed is now back into greed, and it's only a matter of time before we're back in extreme greed. Market cap is looking good at 3.41 T. That's $1 trillion. That's a lot of money, guys. Bitcoin is back with a vengeance. It's cooled off slightly now, as you can see, or cooling off slightly now. It did go as far up as, breached the 110K mark. And I think this cool off is just because we're waiting for the next round of pumps, which I believe would take Bitcoin into price discovery. Most alts are acting the same with their own little modulation here and there. XRP doing pretty much the same as Bitcoin. Came back nicely, now cooling off. If you compare that with the Bitcoin chart, you can see that it's pretty much doing the same thing there. A little bit of a pump there, a little bit of pump there, cooling off, etc. But there is good news. XRP, massive news actually, that obviously hasn't even moved the charts. Maybe because, people don't really understand the implications of this. The institutions certainly do understand. SBI. Actually, I saw this originally on Jack the Rippler's X account, so I'm glad that they've referenced him in this article. So, new documents from SBI Group reveals yen stablecoin. So that's the stablecoin that's backed by the Japanese yen. Stablecoin integration on the XRP ledger. A newly surfaced document from SBI Holdings. SBI Holdings all over the place lately. I talked about them yesterday because of their $50 million investment in the Circle IPO. But they're all over the place now all of a sudden. Japan's largest financial group has revealed plans to integrate a yen-backed stablecoin into the XRP ledger, highlighted by prominent XRP community figure Jack the Rippler on X. Shout out to Jack the Rippler. This move signals a major leap forward in the adoption of blockchain-based financial infrastructure in Japan. SBI Holdings has long been a central player in Ripple's expansion across Asia through its subsidiary SBI Ripple Asia. The company has helped bring RippleNet to major financial institutions throughout the region. The latest disclosure builds on its relationship by introducing a regulated stablecoin directly on the XRP ledger, known for its speed, scalability, and energy efficiency. Okay. The move comes as Japan continues to refine its legal framework for digital assets. The country's updated Payment Services Act, enacted in 2023, allows the issuance of fiat-backed stablecoins under strict regulatory oversight. SBI's initiative appears to be one of the first large-scale responses to the regulatory clarity. So again, new regulatory clarity, only 2 years old in Japan, and already the XRP ledger is playing a crucial role, serving as a platform on top of which a stablecoin that is compliant with Japan's regulations, very, very strict regulations, can be built. So shout out to the XRP ledger taking the lead yet again. According to the document cited by Jack the Rippler, the yen stablecoin will leverage XRPL's capabilities for real-time settlement, low fees, and built-in decentralized exchange functions. By issuing a yen-backed token on XRPL, SBI is offering a digital representation of the Japanese yen that can be used seamlessly in domestic and international transactions. So a lot of liquidity coming to the XRP ledger when this really kicks off. This integration strengthens the XRPL ledger's growing role as a home for regulated stablecoins. It also positions SBI at the forefront of Japan's digital finance landscape, creating new capabilities for cross-border trade, remittances, and foreign exchange, all while staying compliant with Japanese law. So again, we keep hearing about regulations, law, compliance, etc. And Japan is one of the most stringent when it comes to that. Again, XRP Ledger is showing to be a platform on which these trusted you can call them CBDCs, you can call them, stable coins backed by local currencies can be placed. And I think that XRP is going to dominate that across the world. We've forgotten about Palau. Palau is thriving. I'll do a whole video about that soon. They were kind of a test or a proof of concept, a few months ago, coming up to a year now, I think, of how the XRP ledger can serve as the home of a CBDC or stablecoin of this manner. So Ripple itself is already active oh yeah, and I forgot to say, of course, it's also a big deal for SBI, one of the biggest organizations in the world, the largest bank conglomerate in Japan, to be at the forefront of this new technology and, this paradigm shift. So they themselves obviously want to be at the forefront. So this is good for them, good for us, good for XRP Ledger, etc., etc. So Ripple itself is already active in the stablecoin space, having launched RLUSD, a US dollar-backed stablecoin. RLUSD seamlessly integrates with both XRP Ledger and Ethereum, providing users with robust liquidity solutions that span multiple blockchain networks. With the introduction of the yen stablecoin, XRP Ledger is becoming a hub for multi-currency stablecoin infrastructure. I don't think people see where this is going. Imagine a time when there's a USD backed one, which is RLUSD. There's a yen backed one. There's going to be a euro backed one. There's going to be a British pound backed one. We're going to get a South African rand backed one. When BRICS happen, whatever the currency that they have there will be backed and would exist also in XRP Ledger. All of a sudden, we have this seamless ecosystem where things are just going back and forth. It's going to be amazing. This advancement may inspire other financial institutions to leverage public blockchains for issuing stablecoin pegged to the fiat currencies. It also demonstrates XRP Ledger's ability to support government-compliant tokens in real-world financial systems. And I don't see any other blockchain who has demonstrated it in such a way as the XRP Ledger. The closest thing to the XRP Ledger at the moment is Chainlink. And Chainlink is not a tokenization-specific blockchain. They're an oracle. So people are having to build their own stuff and then link together using Oracle's interoperability protocols. But the XRP Ledger is a one-size-fits-all type of home and hub for all of these things with inbuilt everything for all you need. No need to link anywhere else. No need to, plug into anything. You just basically place your CBDC or your stablecoin on top of it, and off you go. SBI's decision to use XRP Ledger for its stablecoin highlights the ledger's technical maturity and the regulatory readiness. As countries around the world test central bank digital currencies and stablecoins, and the test is going on, trust me, there's a lot of testing going on. A lot of these countries are not talking about it publicly, but everybody is going at it at the moment. Japan's approach, using a public blockchain under legal supervision, could become a global reference model. Again, a lot of these countries are going to use private blockchains, I believe, but they have got one eye on this tried and tested public ledger. And if Japan can prove that this is something that's viable, and again, we have examples like Palau, then, it's only a matter of time before some of them start to loosen up and recognize that this public blockchain is tried and tested, reliant, resilient. It might be the way to go. Alternatively, they might just request for their own private version because, they could just fork the XRP Ledger, or Ripple can build one for them. Any developer can build one for them and just basically have them run. But what that means is that whatever their CBDC is compatible, will be compatible and seamlessly integrate with the XRP Ledger itself. While it's unclear if SBI VC Trade or another entity will issue the token, the project's inclusion in official documentation indicates that launch preparations are advancing. And then it gives a disclaimer, which you all should. If you want to read this article, I'll leave the link in the description as usual. I just thought that this is amazing news and it kind of shows you the direction of where everything is going. Shout out to the XRP Ledger. Much liquidity coming towards us, and man, it's going to be nice. Not financial advice, your own research.